Hello, fellow Wolverines, and welcome back to Wolv TV's SportsCenter. My name is Zach Warshaw.
And I'm Emma B. Charters.
In this week's episode, we're going to cover Michigan football's victory over the Lobos of New Mexico, women's volleyball's great start to the season on opening weekend, women's field hockey's win against Wake Forest, men's and women's soccer games against Creighton and Western Michigan, and looking ahead to next week's top 25 football matchup against Oklahoma.
The opening game of the 2025 football season was a successful one, as your Wolverines defeated the New Mexico Lobos 34-17. Michigan received the ball first, and in their opening drive resulted in a 56-yard rushing touchdown from Justice Haynes. New Mexico then went 3 and out, which led to another rushing touchdown for 5 yards from Justice Haynes. After several uneventful drives from both teams, Dominic Zvada kicked a 21-yard field goal to make it 17-0. With just over 2 minutes left in the second quarter, New Mexico's following drive ended with a 9-yard touchdown pass from running back DJ McKinney to Dorian Thomas, making the score 17-7. The subsequent kickoff return was fumbled by Andrew Marsh, giving the Lobos the ball back at our own 29-yard line, which led to a 44-yard field goal, making it 17-10. With 30 seconds left in the first half, Bryce Underwood threw his first ever collegiate touchdown to Marlon Klein for 15 yards. The first half ended with a score of 24-10.
New Mexico received the ball and went 4 and out to begin the second half, and our next drive ended in a 39-yard field goal from Dominic Zvada. The following possession was a scrappy one, but resulted in a 3-yard touchdown pass from Jack Lane to Dorian Thomas after a nearly 9-minute drive to make the score 27-17. Near the start of the fourth quarter, Michigan defensive back Brandon Hillman picked off Lobo quarterback Jack Lane, which led to a huge 59-yard rush from Justice Haynes on our following drive. An official reviewed him down at the New Mexico 1-yard line, but it didn't matter because he punched it in on the very next play. This made the score Michigan 34, New Mexico 17 with 10 minutes left in the fourth, which remained until the final whistle. Our $12 million boy, Bryce Underwood, completed 21 out of 31 passes and threw for 251 yards with 1 touchdown.
The Michigan women's volleyball team opened the season away at Cincinnati on Saturday, August 30th. Game 1 saw Michigan pitted against the Cincinnati Bearcats, with Michigan winning 3-1. The Wolverines turned the tide in the second set, sweeping games 2-4 on their way to their first win. On Sunday, August 31st, your Wolverines beat the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, also in 4 sets, clinching the game in the fourth 25-20. Amalia Simmons had a standout performance from her spot on the outside, recording a double-double with 13 kills and 10 digs in Game 1 against the Bearcats and delivering 18 kills across the weekend.
On Sunday, August 31st, Michigan women's field hockey faced off at Wake Forest. Despite trailing for much of the first half of the game, Michigan dominated possession in the second half, scoring 2 goals in the final quarter with a game winner scored by Abby Tamer with 27 seconds left on the clock. This win marked career first for head coach Christy Gannon-Fisher. Michigan will host Bellarmine at Phyllis Ocker Field for their home opener this Sunday, September 7th.
In soccer, the men's team notched their second win of the season against Creighton on Friday, August 29th. They got ahead early, scoring all 3 goals in the first half, including one from Raimundo Mendez, his first in the maize and blue. The women's team fought hard against Western Michigan on Sunday the 31st, with 22 of the 29 rostered players making an appearance. Kaylee Burrell scored a late goal in the 68th minute, but the Wolverines fell just short, with the game ending in a 2-1 loss. The Wolverines return this Sunday, hosting Youngstown State for the Wolverines' annual Pups at the Pitch game.
This coming Saturday, it's stormin' in Norman as September 6th has our 15th ranked Michigan Wolverines traveling to Norman, Oklahoma to face the 18th ranked Sooners in a marquee non-conference matchup. Michigan and Oklahoma have ever only met one time back in 1976 when the Sooners eked out a 14-6 victory. But this one has the feel of a playoff-type atmosphere early in the season. Oklahoma is led by 4th-year head coach Brent Venables and Washington State transfer quarterback John Mateer, who threw for 397 yards and 3 touchdowns in their 35-3 win over Illinois State. The Sooners racked up 495 yards of total offense in that game, while holding their opponent to just 151 yards, showing they can dominate on both sides of the ball. For our Wolverines, this will be the first major test for freshman phenom quarterback Bryce Underwood. He'll be backed by star running back Justice Haynes, fresh off a 159-yard and 3-touchdown performance, who Michigan will rely on once again to set the tone offensively. If Underwood can handle the pressure and if Haynes can control the ground game, Michigan could prove themselves as a legitimate contender on the national stage. Okay, MB, I know as a freshman that was just your first Michigan football game ever. What was your take on it?
It was wonderful. Being in an atmosphere like that was like nothing I've ever experienced, especially coming from a small town without a football team. Growing up, my high school didn't have a football team, so I've always been a bigger fan of European football, but I'd say the game this weekend tested my preferences.
Would you say that, let's talk about Bryce Underwood specifically.
Okay,
Would you
sure.
think that he lived up to expectations, or do you think there's still a little bit of growing pains, per se?
I think we fell a little short. I think, the margin of the victory was a little off-putting, and it made me a little bit nervous about games going forward. It wasn't a convincing win. I thought we got the job done, but I'm not convinced of our standings going forward, especially through playoffs.
I completely agree. While a win is a win against Mountain West opponent New Mexico,
Yeah.
I was hoping like it looked like a boat race. Like it was just absolutely destruction on all fronts. So little bit of nerves going into Oklahoma, but I think if they take what went wrong in that game and tweak it real quick, they can definitely put up a fight against a now SEC opponent in the Sooners. Even in Oklahoma, I think it'll be a good game.
I'd say my top worry is defensively. If we're letting New Mexico put up 17 points against us, Oklahoma's going to really test our abilities in that regard.
In Wink's defense, I'm not expecting the running back to throw the ball. That was a really cool play, regardless of who you root for. But definitely something needs to be tightened up, especially with the amount of talent on the roster.
Definitely. I feel that, with a lot of new good signings, it's just finding that cohesive nature between the team and the players, and I think that'll come with time, and hopefully the first game, getting that out of the way will help, bring Bryce and Justin Haynes kind of together and to play in a more cohesive nature, and I think that'll reflect against Oklahoma.
I completely agree. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Wolf TV SportsCenter. I've been Zach Warshaw.
And I'm Emma B.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.